Working in a library, I see so many interesting books every day and find it hard to resist borrowing them when I come across them. I currently have 100 books checked out on my card, which is the maximum amount you can borrow. I'm interested in giving all of these a go. They are either ones I came across while browsing or put on hold specifically to fill prompts for a reading challenge. Either way, they all need to be read before I can return them to the library and borrow more. There's no way I can read 100 books quickly, but I need to make a start, so I've put together a spinner wheel to help select what we are going to tackle first. In this blog series, I'm going to try and get through 3 books. Some may be the start of a series, or they may be for a specific challenge. Who knows what the wheel will choose? I'm excited to find out and start getting some of these anticipated reads off my TBR. So welcome to my library challenge. Hi, welcome to Reads and Threads. My name's Kate. Hello if you're new here. Welcome back if you're joining us again. And welcome to the first installment of my library challenge. Like I said in the intro, hopefully it worked, I have 100 books currently checked out on my card, which is the maximum amount that you are allowed to borrow from my library. So before I can borrow anything else, I need to get some of these read and off my TBR. And I thought, what a better way than to start a new series where we let a spinner wheel decide which ones I will be reading. So I have put together a handy dandy spinner wheel. I am going to screen record and let's see what our first book is going to be. So we have The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. This is one that I have put on hold specifically for my Herked challenge. This is to fill the pink prompt on my rainbow challenge. So very much looking forward to getting to this one. This says on the back, Dr. Walden is the director of the magic at Cheatwood School and one of the most powerful magicians in England. Her days consist of meetings, teachings, A-level invocation for 4 talented, chaotic 6th-formers, more meetings and securing the school's boundaries from demonic incursion. Walden is good at her job. No, Walden is great at her job. But demons are masters of manipulation. It's her responsibility to keep her school with its 600 students and centuries-old legacy safe. But it's possible the entity Walden most needs to keep her school safe from is herself. It sounds really cool. It would definitely fulfill the prompt that I need it to, and one that I have been eager to get to. So I will give you an update when I start this book and what I'm thinking and see how it goes. But I'm super excited to start this challenge. So let's get reading. I thought I'd better jump in and give you an update on The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. So I am nearly 100 pages into this now, and to say that it's going slow would probably be a bit of an understatement. I have finished multiple audiobooks since I started this one. This is my only physical read at the moment, and I've flown through all the audio that I've been listening to, mostly due to the fact that I have been working a lot on my computer, getting some stuff organized. But in saying that, I haven't been super eager to pick this up. This is following a director at a school. So she's in her late 30s, I think she's about to turn 40, which is great, like near my age, so awesome. But I think is the academic setting that I'm finding hard and slightly boring. Feels like I've gone back to school. Like it's a lot of info about her day and what classes she's teaching and how the students move from this class to this class, and they're doing their GCSEs. So this is set in London at a really old boarding school. There's all that, and I'm finding that that's not overly interesting. We do have magic in this world, and it seems like everyone knows about this magic, and the magic reinvents itself by people being able to summon demons. And I can't understand why you would want to summon a demon at the moment. Like, I don't know what it gives you. If you summon this demon, what you get from summoning that demon, why it would be something that you, 1, would need to learn, or 2, would want to learn. And yeah, I'm not quite getting there with that. It is ramping up a little bit One of the students has just decided that it was a good idea to summon the baddest demon around, and all hell is about to break loose, or has started breaking loose. That is making it slightly more entertaining. At the moment, definitely not my favorite. It is slowing me down with my reading a fair bit. I was hoping to be a lot further through this now, and I don't think that I will update you unless something insane happens and I can't not tell you what it is. But I think I'll wait till the end now to update you on my overall thoughts of the book. But for now, not my favorite. And I don't know that dark academia or any school academia setting like this anyway is for me. Like, I like trials, I don't mind a school setting, but this just seems so mundane, so day to day, so broken down. Main character, I'm not overly that fussed about. I'm not pulled in by any of the characters really at the moment. This is a sapphic romance as well, which I knew going into it, so that's fine. But even then, the interactions between who I'm assuming is going to be the love interest haven't really been wow. I don't really feel any super connection. She just keeps vaguely saying how good looking she thinks she is, and that's about it. Like, they don't really like each other other than the fact that she's now starting to find her attractive. So I'm not sure. I'm not fully sold on their relationship. But I am only 100 pages in. It may get better. We'll see how we're going, but that's my thoughts for now. Good morning. It is only the next day since I did my update on The Incandescent by Emily Tesh, and I have decided last night that I am going to DNF this book. So in the end, I made it only to page 104. I think yesterday when I spoke to you and I said I was around about 100 pages in, I think I was about 80 actually. So I did read a bit more yesterday, and we were right in the middle of this really what could be epic disaster scene, and it just kept going off on tangents of historical information that I just was not interested in, and a lot of still mundane aspects of the teacher's life, and I just wasn't invested at all. So I think I'm just going to DNF, cut my losses. So that's going to wrap up our first book in the library challenge. So this can definitely go back to the library now. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I was really hoping that, well, I wanted to be able to actually finish the books that I'd picked up from the library. So sad that this one is DNF, but I do believe that there is no point in spending my time reading something that I am not enjoying a lot. Enough anyway. Like, I can read a mid-book and still have a good time reading it and still take away things from it, but I think if I had kept reading this was only going to get a 2 overall. It was not for me, unfortunately. So saying goodbye to The Incandescent. And now we have to spin for our next book. So I've got it here. There's our spin wheel, and let's see what we get. Okay, so we've got The Cursed Melodies by Connie Glynn. I don't remember what this one is about, so I'm going to hide that slice. I'll go grab the book and we'll see what we're in for. Okay, we have The Cursed Melodies by Connie Glynn. It says on the front here, if you can hear the music, it's already too late. So that sounds super intriguing. Let's see what this book is about. Ever since they were small, twins Astrid and Jonas have claimed that the universe, every plant, tree and creature is singing. Their doctor finds this disturbing, so they have been kept away from nature. But it still calls to them, and they yearn to discover who they really are. Meanwhile, Gwen has grown up knowing all about the shadow world of Bloombloods, people living among us who use musical spells to keep the mundane and magical worlds in harmony. But something is wrong with Gwen's magic, and she didn't make the cut at the vulnerable school that trains the next generation. She is determined to prove her worth. The twins and Gwen don't know that a mysterious discordant darkness is spreading, releasing unnatural monsters into the world, and when the three do collide, their unique abilities are revealed. But will their combined powers be enough to stop what's rising in the darkness? This is the first book in a new fantasy series filled with romance and dark magic from global bestseller Connie Glynn. So this one did only just come out in 2025. This is a YA. It's not super long. And there is like music in the back. That's cool. So we're looking at about 335 pages. So this is our second book on our library challenge. Looking forward to giving this one a go. And I was up for a fairly decent length of time, and I did manage to get 100 pages through The Cursed Melodies by Connie Glynn. I am enjoying this one. So we have a magic system via Bloom. So these kids have the ability to manipulate nature pretty much essentially, and any magic that they hear in the form of a song. So everything living actually sings to them. So it's really interesting. The one thing that I am finding though, that they're meant to be teenagers. Like I know we saw that this was a teen book when I picked it up, and I feel like they're reading younger than I was expecting. Like, I don't know how old they are. They're definitely teenagers, but it never actually stipulates their age. And I feel like the writing is written for younger teens, maybe, because they're just feeling very junior. I don't know if that's the right word. Like, just, it feels like this is aimed at a younger audience, but then I feel like I should possibly be thinking of them older. And I don't know if that's because just in my head I'm trying to age them up a little bit, even though I don't know how old they actually are. But the twins have met Gwyn now, and they have been taken to this kind of chapter house, like this really old house, and are finding out a bit about why they can hear things singing, why they're not allowed to go near plants. The twins were left on the doorstep of a convent as babies, and all they've ever known is that they can hear this music in any plant that they're near. And they have been told that that is not obviously normal. Then they've been studied and they've not had a good life so far. So they are fairly skeptical about everything that Gwyn is telling them, or then also the people where she has come from. So the adults around her still want to study these twins because they seem to have ancient magic that doesn't work how everyone else uses magic. So it is a good, really good story. I am quite enjoying it. I'm flying through it though. Like, the font is ginormous. Like, I don't know if that comes through. I feel a little bit like I'm reading a large print, which is fine. It just means you turn the page quicker. So I don't think this is going to take me much longer to get through. I won't necessarily be able to do any reading at work today. We're about to go into a lovely little mini heat wave this week, so it'll be interesting. And this is our first full week back at work after Christmas. So we have a giant book sale this week, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a busy one. Hopefully I will pop back in when I finish this soon, and then we'll spin again for our next book. But yeah, pretty happy with this pick and happy that I picked it up, and glad that it's going better than the last. Hopefully the light isn't too bad right now. There's going to be a fair bit of shadow for stuff. It's 11:15 at night on Monday night, but today as I was working, I was refilling a new book display and I came across another book to borrow. So I did pick up The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. I've been really interested for a long time to read this series, and I do technically own this one on ebook. But I saw this one, it's a new purchase for the library. We bought a new copy and no one wanted it, and I just thought, why not bring it home, add it into my library challenge, and then maybe I'll get to it a little bit sooner. I did have a little bit of room on my card because I had taken back some of my reads from last month. So I think I took back 3 books today. So we're probably down to about 97 on my card at the moment now, or maybe 98. I'm not entirely sure of the number fully, but I thought we could put this in. So these are all my library books, as I showed in the intro, and I do shelve them in alphabetical order just because that's the librarian in me. So Julie Kagawa goes on this shelf. So we'll need to rearrange slightly, not a huge amount I don't think, though this shelf was pretty tight. It should, I need her to go in there. There we go, she fits. And hopefully I'll get to read that one soon. Oh, I do own others in this series that I picked up on sales and that kind of stuff, but not the first one. Also, we'll add this book into my spinner wheel, so we might just do that now. You can kind of see, but we're going to add the Iron King by Julie Kagawa. Okay, we have another slice. So that brings our slices. I'll just save that. That brings us now up from 76 slices to 77, and we have spun for 2. So you can see up the top there that we have 75 to go. Now, like, even though I have obviously said I have 100 out of my card, or possibly 98 now, a lot of them are series, so I'd only put in the first of the series or that kind of thing. So like you can see, I've got both of the Holly Black series there. I've got a whole trilogy. So that's why the number discrepancy. But we are working our way through, and I do have a fair few more on hold waiting to come in, and then just extras that I've just put on hold literally today as I've thought of them. And as I'm going through doing up my TBR game prep to get all that a lot more accurate and easy for changing over every month, I'm coming across books that I'm like, why is that just not on hold for me at work? So happy to have found another one in really good condition. And yeah, I'll let you know when I've finished Cursed Melodies. I am still really enjoying it. I haven't made a huge amount of progress today. Like I said, I probably wouldn't, but I will be doing a little bit of reading before I go to sleep. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. Just finished our second library book pick, The Cursed Melodies by Connie Glynn. This one was fairly easy to read. I think I will be giving it a 3-star in the end. I just found that it read a lot younger than I was expecting. Like, I knew that this was a teen book. I just think that this is very early teen reading rather than higher young adult. I found it very coincidental. It was, like I said, easy while I was reading it, but I didn't have that urge to actually pick it up and find out what was going to happen. I don't think that I will continue on in this series. This is the first in a trilogy, first in a series at least. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy. It's definitely the first book though. It did only come out in 2025, so I'm not sure when the next one was planning on coming out. This trio obviously is very linked. They are on the front. This has got a lot of LGBT rap in it. So there is a main gay couple as well as the 2 girls start to fall for each other. And then the boy falls for the prince. If you are looking for a book that has that. Like I said, easy to read, Not my favorite, so won't be continuing on, but one that I can now say that I have tried and returned to the library and let me borrow another book, which I'm super excited about. In the end, I did bring home 2 more books yesterday. 2 more books on Friday, actually. Sorry, today's Sunday. It wasn't yesterday. Let me go grab them. I'll show you what they are and make sure that they're added into our spinner wheel. On Fridays, I go straight to my sister's from work for dinner. So I haven't had a chance to add these onto anything. One of these was already on the spinner wheel. I just had to take the copy I had back to the library and now I've got another one. So that is This Woven Kingdom by Tahir Murphy. I'm really looking forward to getting to this series. I've had these in my challenge for a fair while, so hopefully we can spin that at some point. And then I also picked up a copy of A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This is the first book in a trilogy of hers and I'm eager to get to, and have popped this one on my 26 priority books for 2026. So super eager to get to this one, but glad that I now have a copy at home. This is already in the spinner wheel. This one will need to get added, so I'm going to do that now. We'll get the spinner wheel up and we'll spin for our next book, which I'm super excited about. If we get one that has an audio, I might even, I think, start a puzzle today. I think that would be pretty cool. I've been meaning to do a puzzle even before Christmas. I was planning on doing a puzzle and just never got around to it. So let's have a look. I can't remember if I did add in A Curse So Dark and Lonely already or not. No, I don't think I did. Okay, so that brings us up to, I think, 78 slices on our board. And I think I didn't shuffle it last time. And I think that I've always found that it's probably a good idea to shuffle the slices. So pretty sure it was this one. We'll do shuffle text only. We'll shuffle it a few times and we'll hit save. Okay, and then let's spin and let's see what our next book is. I'm super excited. I love a spinner wheel. Okay, wow, not what I was expecting. We got A Betrayal of Storms by Ben Alderson. I will go grab that and we'll have a bit of a look at what it's about. Okay, so we have it here, A Betrayal of Storms by Ben Alderson. I have a feeling this is obviously probably the beginning of a series like most fantasy books are. Yes, it's book 1 of the Realm of the Fae. Let's see what it's about. When half-fae Robin Vale is rescued from hunters, he's taken to the realm of Witchwood, where everyone is focused on preparing for war against the humans who hate, hunt and kill them for coin. As the Fae ready their numbers for complete domination of the human realm, the truth of Robin's heritage comes to light, and his very presence opposes a long-planned invasion. With the help of his allies, including his devastatingly handsome personal guard Eryx and Witchwood's princess Althea, Robin claims his rightful place on the throne. An act that throws him into a world of betrayal, murder and lies. Robin must survive long enough to claim his family's power, or let it wreak havoc on a realm that turned its back on him. It sounds really good. I love the cover and all the kind of like shimmery sparkles, so I'm hoping I like this one. I've never read from Ben Alderson before, so intrigued to try another new author. I think that's going to be great. This one is a little longer. It's 423 pages, which isn't too bad. That's a good size, I think, for a fantasy novel. This one did come out in 2024, so I might have a look and see if the next one is out as well, but I think we're starting a new series, which is fine with me as well. So I will update you when I'm a little bit into this and see how we're going. Hopefully we've got a winner. I thought I would share with you my new desk setup. I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out so far. So I got a monitor and I've just hooked up my laptop, which is making it so much easier to edit all my videos and that kind of stuff. Sorry if it's a bit glary. The window is right behind, but I do have like a wireless mouse and keyboard now, which is so much better. And I can access my spreadsheets, which is just awesome. So I am in the process of, I'll make that a bit bigger so we can see. Generally I would just screen record my screen, but we won't do that. So we're going to go for now to my reading tracker, and I'll pop in that we finished. So I got this spreadsheet from Library Unbounded from Sylvia, and I've been really enjoying it so far. It has been very easy to use and a lot of fun. So I input it in. So we've finished Cursed Melodies today, so we'll type that in. So it's the 11th of the 1st, and then as we do that, it'll turn the whole line purple. Hopefully now it's calling me. There it goes. It's just a little bit slow running the script, and I'm going to give that a 3-star. I do have a different spreadsheet though. Even though there is a series tracker in here, I had already set up a series tracker, so I quite like what I've done with this one. So we just need to find, if I had popped in a Cursed Melodies, it'll probably be down at the bottom if it is here, although I have had it for a while, so it might be higher up, or we might just need to search for it. I think we might need to search for it. I haven't quite figured out how to get this to sort properly. Like if I pop in filters along here, I don't know if they will work. Let's give it a go. So if we sort this A to Z by author, there is a fair few in here. No, that didn't work. See, I don't know. If anyone could help me, that would be awesome. Like I'm usually fine with sorting features, but I haven't ever really used Google Sheets a huge amount, and I'm struggling with how to get my sort feature to work. So they're not working. So we're just going to have to, we'll do Control F and see if I can find Cursed Melodies. I might not have put it in. I did. There it is. So we will mark it as red now, which means changing it to this greeny color up here. And at the moment, the next one was anticipated release. That is The Darkest Duet. But I think, like I said, I don't really plan on continuing on. So I'm going to put a 1 there, which will say that I'm 50% done because I only knew about 2 of them. But I think I might move this to my graveyard. So I am going to copy this row, and then we'll go to my graveyard tab. These are all my series graveyard, and we'll pop that in there. And then unfortunately the quickest way I can bring them over is to just copy and paste them individually, which is not ideal. Again, still learning the best processes with Google Sheets and playing around with what I want it to do with what I can actually get it to do. So that's hit my graveyard. So we're going to make this a DNF series. And then I will just delete it completely out of this one. So we have now got an insane number of series. So in total, I have 373 series that I would like to read, 47 that are in progress, 12 that I am caught up on, and 314 that I haven't actually started. So of the 373 that are on this spreadsheet, I have started a fair few of them. There might be a couple more in here that I actually want to move to the graveyard. I might do a series, like actual video, and we'll go through this because I'm sure there is probably a fair few more on here that I don't want to continue on with as well. So yeah, for now, that is my series spreadsheet. We've updated what I have finished today, which is awesome. And then it populates. So this in this spreadsheet, this is awesome. Sylvia's actually set this one up with scripts. So as you do something, it updates itself. So when I now go into my 2026 one, The Cursed Melodies has populated in my little red icon. It tells me how I've read what I've read this month. So the little sneak peek to what I have finished this month, how many books I've DNF'd. I've technically DNF'd 2, but because I started one of them right at the end of December, the Incandescent, it hasn't actually populated that into the 2026 spreadsheet. I think it's populated it into this one instead. But you can see like a graph of what happened throughout the year, which I really like. And then you've got some other stats on the side, which I just think is really cool. And the fact that she lets you have this for free is just awesome. So if you haven't checked that out, I will leave that link below. But this one I just created myself, which is why it's not ideal. I did have a look at a fair few spreadsheets and picked one and the way that I liked it to be read, but it goes for ages depending on how many books are in a series. But I found this one was quite good for my series. I just need to get better at how to actually use the software and get this to sort properly. And I wouldn't mind it like to create cool like icons and stats pages would be awesome. But one day I will get there. But that's our little update for now. I'm going to go listen to an audiobook and do some more stuff on the computer to work out my game. So we'll see how we go. Hello, it has been a few weeks since I pulled our last library book for our library challenge, but I have finally now started A Betrayal of Storms by Ben Alderson. I am about 100 pages in. I'm on chapter 10, so I'm at 96 pages. And I thought that this would be a good time to update you on my beginning thoughts of this book. We are following Robin Vale, who is a half fae, and he has been captured in his sleep in the middle of the night. He's taken by these two men in a cage and doesn't know what's going on, and he ends up at this kind of camp where there are a whole heap of fae and half fae that have been captured, and they're trying to test them to see if they have powers or not. They have apparently already tested Robin and decided that he doesn't have any powers. That turns out to be false. So he is actually fairly powerful and the heir to a fae court that they thought was lost forever. So he has very quickly become someone of high importance. We meet Eric's, maybe. It's E-R-I-X, so very interesting spelling. He is one of the fae soldiers that come to rescue all of the people that are trapped at this camp. And you can see that there's going to be a relationship set up between Eric's and Robin. He already has like a cute little nickname for him. Eric's is calling him Little Bird, and they're constantly like looking at each other, all that kind of stuff. So that's definitely, I think, going to be the main relationship. We've also met Althea, who is the princess of one of the other fae courts. She was there trying to rescue all of the people that have been captured. So it has been fairly interesting. The one thing I will say though is it doesn't have a map at the beginning, and I find that hard with fantasy worlds. I want to refer to the map. I want to see where we are and where we're going and where we've been and all that kind of stuff. So although I don't refer to them overly often, I do like being able to get like a layout in my head of how far we're going and what's around. Ben has been doing his best obviously to describe the areas that we're going in and all that kind of stuff. So it's not been too bad. Some of the language that he's using though, it takes me out of the story a little bit. So not even the fact like that they're swearing or anything like that, just the way the sentences are formed and just the language that he's using. It just doesn't seem to flow as well as you would hope. But yeah, it's fairly good at the moment. I don't know at this stage if it's one that I would necessarily continue on with, but that, like I said, we're very early days. I'm not finding it too hard to read. I'm not minding the length of the chapters. Another book that I previously read in January had extremely long chapters, and that was driving me insane. These ones are pretty good. They're about 10 to 12 pages long, I think, each one. So that's a decent length, but not too long that I want another place to stop. So overall, I'm enjoying it. So hopefully it won't take me too much longer to finish this one, and then we will wrap up the vlog and look at the 3 books that we have picked for our first library challenge. Over January, I did manage to read a fair few books as well, which was awesome. Some of which I did manage to pick up from the library. So before we go into our next iteration of this series, I will obviously be updating the spinning wheel with any new library books that I have added to my shelves, because they're constantly coming in and out. But we'll run through that when we get to that stage. So I'm going to keep reading, and hopefully I will be back in a few days to tell you that I've finished, but we will see. It is only a day after my last clip, but I have been reading a bit more of A Betrayal of Storms by Ben Alderson, and I have actually decided today to DNF this book. So I didn't make it much further than my last update. I got to page 124 and it's not doing it for me at all. The language just doesn't flow properly, I think, is my problem. It just is very stilted. There's like introductions of phrases that just seem really out of place. And when I was reading it today at lunchtime, I found the main character, Robin, to be so whiny, and I couldn't take it anymore. I just have no interest in finding out what's going to happen. We're not really learning much so far, and he's just going off on random tangents that just don't seem like how a person would behave given his situation. He doesn't listen to anything that any of the advisors that he's come across are telling him. The guy that he is checking out all the time is trying to help him, and he's just completely going off his rocker 1 second and then not the next, and going silly over little things like really aggressive interaction when they're not knocking at the door, or it's not it, unfortunately. So although that is not the ending I wanted for this book and for this vlog, it is what it is. Overall, of the 3 books that we have read from our first library challenge, we've had The Incandescent from Emily Tesh, which was unfortunately a DNF as well. Got to page 104, I think, of that one. We then had The Cursed Melodies by Connie Glynn. This one I did enjoy fairly well. It was just a little bit younger than I was expecting, so won't be continuing on with this series, but didn't have a bad time while I was reading it. And then now Betrayal of Storms by Ben Alderson, which I think was the first in a 4-book series that I will not be continuing on with. So although we only had 1 that I managed to finish, these are 3 that I can take back to the library. I tried, I was interested in them, they just haven't worked out, but I can pick up 3 more now that I have waiting behind my desk. So that will be great. And I just think that this, though not the ideal start, I would love to love all of the books that I found at the library, and I think that they have a lot of potential to begin with. We just have 3 that aren't really for me, which is fine because they will probably be for someone else. Glad that I tried these, and looking forward to what the spinner wheel is going to bring for us next time. I'm hoping to start again fairly soon on the 2nd episode of this and spin for 3 more reads and see what we get, and hopefully have a little bit more of its success in the books that we actually find next time. But I hope you enjoyed it. I just really want to read all of the things that I'm coming across, but having the amount of books out that I have at the moment, I really do need to push myself to read some of them, because even though I am interested in them, there's just so many that I'm interested in. But really enjoyed my time with this, so hopefully you are eager to see what we get next time and you like the video. If you did like the video, please consider giving it a like and hitting that subscribe button to see what I've got coming up next. And I hope that wherever you are, you're having a really wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.